Hello everybody and welcome to a special match preview video here on the Futbol Kaki. I am your host Eldet and I'm joined by my fellow Kaki bro Jordan. And the game that we are going to cap or preview today is of course the Community Shield, which of course is a significant day because it means that football is actually back. A week prior to the Premier League season, the Community Shield is always what we consider the opener for everybody.
Finally, the wait is over.
It is Arsenal versus Man City. But before we get into that, I just want to check. George, I see you got a new haircut.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Just need some dyeing my hair to some brown golden.
Bro, blonde must be the Foden blonde, bro. The Foden blonde. I on my hand am like almost like partially there to the Haaland haircut. The Haaland haircut not as long or as much of a lion's mane as Erling Haaland. But I think close there lah. But I think I'm gonna cut it soon lah. So if in the next 2 weeks you all see me with shorter hair, then you all know what happened already lah. But today is football's oncoming season, and it's basically I think it's the curtain opener for everybody lah. So for me, right, I got no heavy stake in this match other than trying to see what's going to happen between Manchester City and Arsenal lah. Basically trying to see where they are and how they look. But I find that in terms of pre-season form, right, it's a bit weird to gauge on certain things because let's say, for example, let's just talk both the Man City and Arsenal's pre-season form in their preview, right? Arsenal's played more games, right, George? If I'm not wrong, you guys have played 4, right?
No, more. We have
You've played more than that,
3, 4, 5.
What are the 5 games?
FC Nürnberg, in Germany, MLS All-Star, Man United, Barcelona, and Monaco.
So if I'm not wrong, right, you guys drew with Nürnberg. MLS All-Star, you trashed them 5-0. Then you all lost to United. Then it was you all beat Barcelona, if I'm not mistaken, right?
5-3.
Then today you all played Monaco. Then you all won on penalties.
We drew.
Drew then penalties 5-4, if I'm not mistaken, right? Right. So I find that in pre-season, right, it's always something about trying to get the games under your belt so that you can get ready for the season. But just your take on how did they look during pre-season as an Arsenal fan? Are you happy with where they are, or you think that they're still getting into the flow?
To be honest, I think they are not where they are. I mean, by watching them yesterday midnight, they start out with second team. With Declan Rice and Partey, they still need a bit of time together lah. Most importantly, then get the tactics right. Defensively, I find that's the most challenging part because I find it's a continuation. Those goals that concede, especially against United, against Barcelona, all these are individual error prone. I think this really they need to work something out lah to reduce such individual error, the number of it to reduce it.
Because it's a weird dynamic because like the 5-0 where you guys beat MLS All-Stars, you guys were very dominant, so you guys were emphatic. But the difference is that MLS All-Stars is like a combined team. They don't actually play together. So when you all came over to Man United, right, to be really frank, the Man United Arsenal game, right, I felt that everything was kind of like it could have swung either way.
Actually,
it's just that
Arsenal played much better, just that Man United just take their chances when Arsenal make the error.
And I also find that like in terms of who was playing that day, like Kobe Mainoo, right, he did well against Arsenal, and I think United basically just had a bit more luck of the draw lah. I won't say that if you're asking me was that a great performance by Man United, it was alright lah. Wasn't great. But in terms of mistakes lah, like the first goal that Ramsdale let in should have been a save, the Bruno shot, and then the central goal was basically a defensive mistake lah. They let the ball bounce. So I find that if let's say you're just talking about matches or on-game performance, right, it leaves a little to be desired. Are they ready to go into the season, or do you think that maybe the Man City game would be a better gauge as to how they're actually going to fare during the season itself?
I think plus Man City is a bit hard to gauge based on their 2 games played.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Then they lost to Atletico Madrid recently. Just hopefully we can ride this one form now and win the thing. But then, I mean, I would think that it will be a good test to see how's the outcome lah.
Yeah.
But I do not wish to see. Okay, the least I expect. Okay. I mean, I'll leave this prediction to later on. Okay.
No, I find that like Man City, they've done this before. So in terms of like, let's say for example, the amount of preseason games that they have, they don't actually play a lot. They probably made a few, maybe 2 or 3, to really get into the season, right? Then from there, they will slowly develop into the season that they have lah. But I find that if let's just look at it from both ways lah. 2 games as a totality is very hard to gauge, right? As to what type of form they're going to be in heading into this game and heading into the season. The interesting thing that we ought to know, right, is that in terms of transfers, right, which is what we're going to also talk about next, we've talked about form, which is basically, of course, if you're talking match fitness, definitely playing more games under your belt will help you get your fitness levels up lah. So when you're playing 5 versus 2, is the thing. But then again, it is Man City. So anything can happen.
Is to go all the way under penalty shootout.
then you sneak one there, win the title. Yeah. The throwback to 2005 FA Cup final. Cannot dominate the whole game, then win on penalty. But jokes aside, overall, like I think George, you agree, like preseason is to get match fitness up, So if you're playing 3 more games than your opponent, right, the understanding naturally will be that, okay, my match fitness will be higher because I played more games, I run more. But then again, Man City is Man City lah. And let's say we're looking at transfers, we've already put aside the match games and the match results stuff, because one draw, one win also won't tell you a lot also. In terms of transfers into the club, let's just look at Man City first lah. Transfers into the club, right, aside from the players that have returned back on loan, which is basically João Cancelo, Cabore, Angel Herrera, and now Buestos. The only addition that they've actually made is Mateo Kovacic from Chelsea, and then of course the pending transfer of Gvardiol as a defender. But I find that Kovacic is essentially coming in to basically kind of be the replacement for Ilkay Gundogan, who's already left for Barcelona. And in terms of transfers out of the club, Riyad Mahrez is gone to Al Ahly, Saudi Arabia. Angel Herrera's left. Ilkay Gundogan has, of course, left on a free transfer to go to Barcelona. And then, of course, the rest of it is Benjamin Mendy's left, Bustos left, Cabore left, Josh Wilson, Esperana. So, Cabore and Esperana are both on loan. So, essentially, they lost 2 of their key guys for last season. Mahrez with the hat-trick in the semi-final of the FA Cup. And then, of course, Ilkay Gundogan with that match performance in the FA Cup final. So, what do you think? Let's just talk about City first. Yeah,
they're quite quiet in the market. Like it only boils down to one way. Like it's either now they have many internal games against the youngsters, like those kind of closed door games against youngsters, to really handpick a few to really rise up. Current one, Cancelo is wanting a move out to Barcelona.
Yeah.
Then the one
if I'm wrong, is they're talking about the Cancelo transfer, right?
Yeah. Then the one that's most likely to happen coming in is Gvardiol. I thought Gvardiol happened already. It's not yet done.
It's not done yet.
Like forever.
I also thought it happened already, but it's not yet done already. It's not completed.
It's not blue tick already. Yeah. So with only Gvardiol, it's the second edition, right?
Yeah, it's the second edition after Kovacic.
I mean, they still have 1 month to really make something happen, unless they really think that their squad is sufficient enough, or maybe they want to bring some young academy.
Maybe because I think they are looking at like younger guys. Like I know Rico Lewis is going to be a constant figure now already. Then Nathan Ake,
Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer. Then Nathan Ake just renewed his contract also. So the team is actually, most of the core team from what last year is the same. I think probably maybe Pep's going to utilize some of the youngsters. But in terms of overall adding to the squad, I won't say Kovacic is better than Gundogan. And for a defense, right, Gvardiol definitely he's a better upgrade over Ake. But in terms of whether or not he's going to come in and hit the ground running, right, that's a thing that is really until we see what's going to happen. Because like we've talked about many times during Kaki, like sometimes it's a 2-man defense with very weird. Then Pep Guardiola will just come up with some very weird formation. So we won't really know what's going to happen. I think in terms of that for City, right, they haven't really to sum it up, they haven't really added, and they've lost 2 of their key guys that have been the mainstays for the team for a very long time. So with that, let's move over to Arsenal's side. So Arsenal, big business this window.
We like going for some going some factory outlet store. We walk in, LV come out with a bag.
Hey, I want this, I want this, I want that. I mean, let's just talk about that additions. So Declan Rice, the big one, Kai Havertz, Julian Timber, and you guys are currently in discussions for David Raya, right?
Yeah, this one, let's talk about it a bit. I mean, when Paul asked David Raya, question mark, like, I don't know what happened. But then after that, I realized last season, David Raya was top 4 best goalkeeper in the Premier League.
Yep.
In terms of saves, goals conceded, and though Ramsdale performed good enough, but he barely made the top 10.
In terms of statistics lah.
Yeah, in terms of the statistics. And I mean, like, it's true enough. Aaron Ramsdale, when he first came to Sheffield Sheffield United, right? I think he peaked too fast.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Like, he peaked too fast. Then after that, it dropped a bit. Then after World Cup, it really fluctuated
up and down
quite a lot. Yeah. Then I watched on YouTube channels saying that he's the type of he really lower his body really low. So top corners is normally the goals that he considers.
Yep. But I find that, like, you can kind of get away with, like, bending your body low because it's harder to shoot a screamer into the top corner than it is to really go lower lah. So the chances of him getting beaten at the top corner is harder. I think if, let's say, you were to see maybe like comparison on that type of schematic, like let's say for example you look at Jordan Pickford, right? Pickford gets beaten by long range because he is very, how to say, he has this I won't say short. I would say more like maybe he just has bad habits where his positional sense is not where he's supposed to be to cover the ground and shot lah. So I think that one is a bit more of a major problem compared to if, let's say, you were to keep low to go up. I think the only thing is that maybe he just needs to work on maybe a bit more explosiveness to be able to push up to get to where it is, right? But when I honestly feel that in terms of talking about Ramsdale, right, like he's good at ball distribution. That one is a fair game. Yeah. When he needs to make decent saves, he does do that. But there are leaks, so there'll be times when I think I won't say this on behalf of Arsenal fans, but from my observation, there'll be times when sometimes he just does random mistakes. Or like mistakes that you will feel like, why did you make that type of mistake? Like it's not unnecessary to make this type of mistake. He shouldn't be making this type of mistake at that particular level. So if, let's say, you were to get David Raya, right, would you be happy with that? And would you say that he immediately starts over Ramsdale? I
think the money that I heard they're going to offer or is about 40 plus million for a goalkeeper. For this kind of rate is normally a first team goalkeeper.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So meaning Aaron Ramsdale just recently extended the contract.
Yeah.
So it really saying that, hey, it doesn't mean now you sign a new contract, you will get the first team.
Yep.
Yeah. So now the second goalkeeper is Matt Turner, right? But Matt Turner really want to have more caps for his own country, so he needs more game time. So I believe he will go for somewhere else already.
I think so because I find that goalkeeper positioning is a premium. There's no guarantee that you're actually going to be playing right if you're the number 2. Priority is that no matter what, right, you want your best shot stopper on the line lah. So it's basically like, if let's say you're paying about estimated value about 40 million for Raya, right, expectation is that he's going to sign, because let's say for example you talk about Andre Onana, right, in terms of sterling pounds, Andre Onana is 47.2 lah. So if Man United has already paid over 45 million pounds, right, for Andre Onana, right, there's no way he's not going to start. So if Arsenal's going to be paying that for Raya, right, even if Ramsdale still starts the season, there will be bound to be pressure that Raya is going to start, like, sooner or later lah.
When one injury comes, that's it.
Is it already? But I find that it's good to beat competition because they both are good enough to be number 1. It's just who wins out also lah. Then in terms of others, right, what do you think of like Declan Rice so far as an Arsenal player? Like, we've seen him for West Ham multiple times, but in the Arsenal system, how does he feel?
I think he's still finding the footstep, but you can see he bring a bit more fluidity in the midfield lah. Yeah. He don't hold the ball too long. I mean, if you make comparison to Saka, because that's the place where he will be filled in. He brings more fluidity. He passes the ball accurately and good distribution also. But maybe not yet to the extent where he dare to play a risky pass.
I understand.
Yeah.
I think it's lack of familiarity or understanding where his where his teammates are going to be lah.
Like if you make comparison to Jorginho, I find Jorginho more daring to try out a risky searching through ball.
Yeah, but I also think that maybe because experience plays into Jorginho's hand because he's played for Chelsea and for Arsenal in the Premier League. So he's maybe a bit more aware of playing at a top level, whereas Declan Rice is finally moving from middle tier club to like top club level already. The expectation is a lot going to be higher. Plus, the transfer fee is also going to signify basically how much pressure there's going to be on his shoulders. Are they going to start in a two-man midfield, like in terms of CDM, or is Declan Rice going to be mainly the pivot?
I think it's 4-3-3. Yeah, so meaning single. But they always have their wing back to come then pick the second pivot.
Understand. Fair point. So I think that in terms of that, I think the one that everybody's going to watch is basically Declan Rice. Like Julian Timber, what do you think?
Julian Timber, I have no problem. I think he got the strength.
Yeah.
The speed.
Yeah.
And he's both legged.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's both legged. Then he can really play anywhere, left, right back, CDM, or even centre back.
He knows the concept of basically passing and flowing football because he's done it for Ajax also and for Holland. So I think that one probably not going to be an issue. What about Havertz?
Havertz. I'm surprised that Havertz is filling up Saka's position. I was like, wow, really?
he cannot lah, bro. He's
no, but that time, some journalist was asking about Arterta, where and how he gonna play Havertz.
Yeah.
Then he say, if you play physical football, what do you consider as physical? Tough or height?
Yeah.
Like, so like he don't consider toughness, so he rather take height.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So it's either like you choose one lah. You want tough or you want height.
But I mean like that. But then again, Declan Rice you got both lah. So that's a good.
Yeah lah.
So I mean I think this is interesting because I find that like if you want to beat City, your midfield's got to be strong lah. I find that overall, let's say to sum this up, right? Like I will ask for your opinions, right? Arsenal, in my opinion, right, has added more to put them into a more competitive position, right, to fight for the league title compared to last year lah. And I find that in terms of adding to the team, right, Arsenal's transfers are much better than Man City's. Because then again, when you compare 3 versus 1, right, one transfer is not going to say that you have a better window than the club that has 3 significant players that can come in and contribute off the get-go. So I think for transfers-wise and adding to the squad, this will be intriguing. I don't really know whether or not what type of midfield they'll be playing this week during the Community Shield. But do you agree? Or do you think that the window between both is a bit closer than what is perceived to be? What do you think?
You mean...
between, like, let's say, their business during the transfer window between City and Arsenal?
Definitely, on paper, Arsenal got good handful of decent purchase. But I think Man City is up to something. I don't know.
Whatever happens, right, let's just see. This is going to be interesting because it's essentially the top 2 of the league last year that's going to end.
Yeah.
Injuries-wise, I don't think there's anything significant on City's side other than like maybe like Ake and De Bruyne had a bit of a knock, but then they should be okay for the weekend. I don't think there's anything heavy. I know Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus is injured again.
Zinchenko again.
Both of them.
I don't know how many times. Wow. Maybe Man City know they injury prone. They just, okay, I'll give you.
Yeah lah. But other than that, is there any other injuries for Arsenal?
Saka did not play yesterday.
But was it resting?
But Arterta did not say anything serious. Just I think more on Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah. Gabriel Jesus, what injury is it?
I heard his knee. End season was ankle. Now knee. Zinchenko also calf.
Leg injury lah.
Yeah, I think that's all
for injury wise lah.
But I must say, Arsenal now really need Saka. Saka is their star player. I watched the whole game yesterday. I was watching Fabio Vieira playing off row, right? Wow, really?
You cannot.
Yeah, very slow.
I think now to conclude this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to do our match predictions and then we're going to review it to see whether it is lah. I think like in terms of overall, just to summarize, right, preseason form, of course, going into this game, City have played 2, Arsenal have played 5. So I will say that in terms of match fitness levels, Arsenal definitely have a bigger edge lah going in, because preseason is all about getting game time match fitness, try to get your levels up. Transfer wise, I think we both can agree that Arsenal's transfer window and transfer business has been a lot better than City's. When you add 3 versus 1, is obviously, I find that it's going to be better. And plus also Man City are looking to replace Ilkay Gundogan and Riyad Mahrez, which are 2 significant contributors. And sooner or later, they got to look at maybe getting the cover for De Bruyne. So because De Bruyne is getting older already. So I think that's probably something they need to look at lah. Injury-wise, nothing really significant. Other than for Man City, I think because De Bruyne's had a bit of a stretch, he didn't really play a lot. So I think probably they're just hoping that he's ready for the season opener lah, which is next week, right? And the season opener is basically the Community Shield lah. So with all this plotted together in a ball of information thrown to both of us, right, and thrown to George, right? George, what's your match prediction?
With this, I always doubt my dear Arsenal. I shall stop doubting them. Yeah, you like you will, right? You doubt your own Man United players.
I've been doubting Man United, right, ever since David Moyes. Okay, so the level of doubt has been there since very high already.
Yeah, but even during Sir Alex Ferguson day, you still sometimes this
not
game
really.
quite.
I realized because right, like me and Paul have talked about this before, right? Like when you're so used to winning, the doubt of losing, right, never crosses your mind. It's only until you are in a situation where you continuously lose, right, then the doubts of losing actually hit your face. I think like that's what basically happens lah. So I find that I was less doubtful during Sir Alex Ferguson time than I am in the past 4 managers. Even with Eric Ten Hag, as much as I love him as a manager, there's sometimes where I just really I worry a bit. Yeah, but you still haven't said your score yet.
Okay, so my scoreline is not to doubt
Arsenal.
My beloved Arsenal. So I'm gonna give it a 2-1.
2-1. Who's scoring?
Yeah.
See whether you got the thing
scoring?
Right.
If Saka plays, Saka scores.
Okay.
The other one, maybe I'll give it to Lisandro.
Lisandro
lah.
Wait. I was like, Lisandro.
No, Trossard.
Okay. Lisandro, right? I was like thinking. I'm like, is there a Lisandro in Arsenal? Never mind. There's only one. There's only one Lisandro Martinez in Manchester United. Yes. So that one, right? Okay. For me, I think it'll be a draw, 2-2. Then I think City will nick it on penalties lah. But yeah, I don't think they'll go full speed because if you're not wrong, Community Shield, you can do unlimited substitution one, right?
I don't know. I don't know what's the new thing, but I only know the new rules about the offside thing and the new added injury time. My goodness, next time will be like plus 12 minutes.
Are they going to start doing it now?
Yeah. So every throw in, right, they'll start counting the time already. So you take your time, throw in, throw. Walao.
So they'll stop the clock, right?
Yeah. So any corner kick, throw in, because especially corner kick, you get all the defender players from the other side to walk in. At least a good 30 seconds. Then prepare everybody for another 10, 15 seconds. Okay, kick. There's almost 1 minute gone.
It's like that, bro. They're basically taking the clock out of the American games. So basketball and American football, every time the ball goes out, the clock stops. Essentially, I mean, you talk about it, like let's say for example, ball in play, the 55 minutes on average. So if you're 55 minutes on average, right, 35 minutes the ball is out of play.
Actually, they should do countdown. It would be more fun. You imagine 3, 2, 1, wow, 50 yards.
No, but you know that they've been doing it for other sports. Like baseball, right? Last time there was no pitcher clock because the pitcher would take his time. Right now there's a pitcher clock. So it means that the pitcher has to actually throw the ball to the batter in a specific time limit. I would rather they, instead of having to put like stoppage time, right? I think maybe what they can do is probably maybe just set a timer. Maybe like 10, you have about 10 seconds to get the ball in play. Otherwise the ball will go to the other team. Something like Lions have. So just to sum it up, right? Match predictions. Jordan says 2-1 to Arsenal.
Come on, Arsenal.
And then I say 2-2 to Man City. Goal scoring predictions. I want Saka to play well, and I want Havertz to score. So that's my side. I think for Man City, I just Haaland 2 goals lah. It's just like the easiest prediction you can do is Haaland scores 2 goals. With that, we've already given our match predictions. We hope that this weekend you enjoy this particular game, the opener, and marker to say football is back. The season is going to begin next week. And we hope that you do join us in our pre-EPL opener where we're going to do something a little bit fun. We're going to talk about the EPL table. We're going to predict the entire EPL table. All three of us, me, Paul, and Jordan. So we hope that you join us for that particular episode. And from everybody here at the Futbol Kaki and the Chit Podcast Network, we hope that you continue to support us and do give us a like and subscribe. We hope that you have a great weekend and, of course, enjoy the Community Shield. Man City versus Arsenal. North London forever.
We are
Arsenal. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.